gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Moments with Gbemzo and Friends. Ladies, what's going on? You guys been looking. Joel, your hair is giving. For real, your hair is giving
curls,
you know,
bounce.
It's giving calls, bounce, everything.
Thank you.
Have you been?
Good, and you?
Any gist?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Joel, you're glowing today. I'm suspecting you. Any?
Nothing is going on.
Have you been, Clementine?
I've been good. Good as always.
I see my brother taking care of you.
Yes.
Good job, good job.
Good.
Nigerian brother, good job. Good job.
Mommy.
Hey, today, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have Sydney on the show today, but then she'll be right back with us on the next episode of Moments with Gbemzo and Friends. Okay, ladies, today let's move right to loud talk. How do you apologize acceptably? You know, people apologize in different ways. Like, I want to say, Joel, I'm sorry, but... I mean, I'm like, the but, what is the but for? Like, some people say, I'm sorry, okay, I'm sorry. So how do you apologize acceptably? Let me start with you, Joel.
Okay.
Like, okay.
Because I know she has a lot to say.
So, apologies, I mean, yeah, they all come in different forms.
Yeah.
But for me specifically, when I'm in the wrong and I take accountability, I will first apologize by either, sending a text or calling the person to let them know, I was wrong. But I'm a giver, so I will try to do something, to show that I'm
like a gift?
A gift.
Oh, you need to offend me so you can send me a gift. Joel, please do something to piss me off.
No.
So that by the time you want to apologize, you're going to come with a gift.
No, but, because I feel bad. I start to feel
like you're
really
truly
bad.
sorry.
I'm truly sorry.
Okay, so now the question is, you're truly sorry.
Yeah.
But how do you say sorry without trying to explain yourself and explain your part of the issue to make the person feel like, what are you saying? Are you really sorry? Like, let's take, for example, your boyfriend, your spouse. Like, oh, okay, if something happened and you're like, okay, babe, I'm sorry, but listen to me. Okay, so how do you, you have an explanation, right? But how do you say it without making the person feel like, do you want to say sorry or you just want to talk?
You have to apologize in with the person's love language.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned is that everybody is different. So the way you feel like, okay, you might want to interpret that to the person. That person may feel like, okay, well, that's not enough. So you want to see, especially if you've been with the person for a very long time, like, how do they feel, like, what does apology mean to them? Find out what their love language is, and apologize that way.
Yeah.
So if it's gift giving, give them a gift.
Yeah.
If it's words of affirmation, make sure you go above and beyond, for that.
I like that though. I like the gift part. What about you, Clementine? How do you say sorry?
So for me, I feel like an essential part of saying sorry is actually understanding that it's about the other person and not about you. Because a lot of people, when they offend other people, they try and like gaslight that person or make them feel like they're crazy for feeling the way they feel. Because a lot of people, sometimes they'll offend you. And when you tell them that, oh, you did A, B, C, and D, that offends you, and to them it's something light, they expect you to not be offended.
Right.
But you offended me, it's my feelings. So you have to give me that grace, accommodate my feelings, However, like when it comes to apologizing, I would say for me, I feel it's important to explain to the person, like if they come to you and say, hey, you did A, B, C, and D to me, don't make them feel like they're crazy, but just let them know, like, I am really sorry. This was my reasoning, or this was where I was coming from. Okay. That does not mean I don't regard your feelings, and I still am apologizing. If there's a reason or you feel there's a good enough reason, tell them, don't gaslight them, don't make them feel like my reason is to make you feel crazy. And then, like she said, you can follow up with like their love language, do something nice for them. If it's your spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, lighten up the mood, you know, offer like, oh, let's go to the movies, let's do, just to shake that, you know, feeling off. But there's so many different ways to apologize to people. Some people will even want you to just leave them alone for a while. So they can cool down, you know, and if you can give them that space to be themselves, they will really appreciate it. So it just depends.
Can I also add on to that?
Oh.
Not all apologies are real apologies.
Oh,
Right.
yep.
That's what I'm saying when they say, okay,
Yeah.
apologize, say,
Like
sorry.
sincere.
Because
Okay,
it's
sorry.
like some people will say, "Oh, I'm really sorry. Like you feel that way," but or they'll be like, "Well, I'm not perfect. I'm not this."
That word in particular,
That-
like, I'm not perfect, things happen.
That's not
Are
an
you really
apology
sorry?
because
Yeah.
it's like you know what you were doing, so why did you do it? You know,
Yeah.
and it comes off as like a selfish thing. Like you're being selfish. Obviously, you're
Right.
only thinking about yourself.
So I'm gonna say, how many times can you take sorry from an individual, one person? Like, how many times can you keep accepting the person back?
My tolerance
For how
is
long
low
can you
now.
tolerate?
So me now, I would say one time and you're out.
But, but even God accepts you back so many times, Joel. Like we see it
Yes.
all the time, and we say, Jesus,
Yes,
God, I'm
but-
sorry.
But you know, like we're adults. People know what they're doing. Nobody is a child. People make mistakes. That's true.
Yeah.
But you know, at the same time, when you know that somebody does not like something, don't do it to
Right.
them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I feel like there's some instances though, you know, especially if you're a married person, there's no limit, you know, to say, oh, I can only take sorry 5 times. You know, especially if you're in a marriage, you have to be open.
But it's
to-
not like you're doing that same thing
No,
over
no,
and
no,
over.
now that
There could
one-
be different things, and you
Yeah.
have to sorry. But when you keep repeating that same thing, because like I had to cut up from a particular person recently because you know when you've done a
Same
particular
thing.
thing over time and maybe I didn't say anything and then you did it
Yeah.
again and I said I don't like this thing and then you did it and then you're doing like the 5th time and this time around I said okay I'm not gonna say anything this time. I'll let you figure it out yourself.
Yeah, I had to do the
and then
same
the person
thing,
is like, oh, what's going on? I said, just figure it out. And then later, you know, the person be like, oh, is it because of this? I said, oh, you know, I told you I don't like it, so you can't keep doing it and say sorry. I don't want it sorry this time. It's just it's just a
too
thing.
much.
I mean,
Or
that's
sometimes
it.
people will do it like it, but it's a pattern.
Yes.
It's like it's different things, but it's a pattern that
Yes.
keeps repeating itself. But then you always have excuses as to why
The time.
it's happening.
The
You
time.
know, and
You want to explain yourself. This is why it happened
people
this
get
time.
Tired. And one thing I don't like is that instead of taking accountability for your actions, you know, you run off and like people will either start making you look like
You're the
you're
crazy
the
one.
Oh, of
person.
course. Yeah.
Oh, you did this or you did that, but it's like you started all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we're gonna round it up by saying we've been talking now from the third person perspective. Now, what about you as a person? Have you done things that maybe to a particular person and you had to say sorry?
Of course.
How did you say sorry and it was acceptable and you know within yourself you're actually sorry?
Well, you know, I'm not perfect myself. You know, I've done things to offend people that I've learned from. I've learned some particular lessons where it's like, you know, I had an encounter with someone that I didn't know quite well.
Right.
But it's like I did something at the time that I didn't know that I was offending, you know, the person. And at the time, I wasn't really thinking about that person, but I was more so thinking about my actions, you know. Afterwards, when it happened and the person explained to me, like, hey, this is how you made me feel. So I felt really, really bad. I went, like, literally weeks trying to apologize to the person, you know, because I really genuinely felt sorry for what I did, and it wasn't intentional.
Okay.
And you know, we kind of settled, but then as weeks went on, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, the person still felt that I was sorry. You know, I didn't want to like offend the person in any type of way. So I offered, you know, hey, do you want to, you know, go to dinner or something, you know? And, you know, we settled. But I feel like for me, it's more so I like to give the person time.
Yeah.
I'll apologize.
Mhm.
You know, when you're ready, come to me. Let's talk about it. If there's anything I can do to show you
That I'm truly
that
sorry.
I'm truly sorry,
Mhm.
I will do it. But I won't do it in a way of only thinking about myself.
Yeah.
You know.
That's very important. Thinking
Yeah.
about the other party.
Yeah.
All right, that will be all on Loud Talk today. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your views with us. Please let us know in the comment section, how do you say sorry acceptably? We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today on our topic, we're going to be discussing about OCD. OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, there's this argument that I saw, it was trending on Facebook some time ago, and it was about sharing a bathroom with your man. It is widely said that it is a first argument when you're newly moving with your supposed spouse, or maybe now you're married, maybe with your fiancé. So what has been your experience moving in with a man in particular and sharing a bathroom together? Let me start with you, Clementine, you're married.
Well, I feel like fortunately for me, I've had more of like the good or the better experience with the whole thing. I'm a super clean person. Like, I like things a particular way. Like, if this stays here and you come and move it, I'll come and put it back. But like, I'll start telling you like, hey, stop moving this, So like, I feel when I got married, thank God we already had 2 bathrooms, so I didn't have to really worry about what's really going on in his bathroom. If you can keep it like...
You have to separate your bathrooms?
Yeah, no, like, I'll give you your own bathroom so you can have your own counter space and whatever you're doing in there, and I can have mine.
So you don't shower together?
No.
Okay, go on.
No.
Okay.
I mean, of course it's not restricted, like, hey, you stay in your bathroom. If we have visitors and he needs to move from that other bathroom into, like, the one that's in the ensuite, that's fine. I don't really mind. Now, he is not, like, super clean, but he will clean up after himself just enough for me not to complain. That's why I said I've had the better end of the
He just wants to put things... It should be arranged, but to him,
Yeah.
I just want my things like this. And to you, it's like,
Yeah.
it can't be like this.
No, like,
I
just
know.
put it back here. Like, if you took your shower, don't walk outside with feet and I can see the water. Wipe it.
I know, right?
Just wipe
Lord.
it. It's okay. You don't have to put the cloth where you used to wipe back in the same
What about
spot.
the toothbrush, the paste?
Nah, he's quite good with that.
Okay.
I feel like for me, my standard of comparison was already my dad. Because when I lived back home, we had my dad in the house, and it's all girls, and it's just him. So I feel like my standard of comparison was my dad. I knew, like, oh, my dad just left the bathroom because of how things look. So it wasn't really bad for me now going into marriage, because I'm like, I'll just put it back. It's okay. But there are some things that are unacceptable. Just, if you use the toilet and you don't clean it, please clean it. Just clean it. It's okay.
So, at the early part of your marriage, were there arguments about this, or you just let it go?
No, like I told you, we already had 2 bathrooms. So we were fine. The only thing that I would complain about was feet. When someone takes a shower and they leave their feet, you can see feet imprints inside the tub.
Right.
I'm like, just scrub this. Just scrub it. That was the only thing that we went, like, loggerheads about. But I finally just realized, like, you know what? I'm going to scrub it myself and I'll be happier than just barking at him about it. So, yeah.
Just let it be.
Yeah, just let it be.
What about you? I know you're not married. You're going to be married soon. But have you ever had to live with a guy, or maybe just your brother, or just a guy,
Only person I've had that experience with was my dad. I remember my mom never really had issues about him, cleaning up after himself. Like, he was already like a very tidy person. So like in the bathroom, like everything, and right after he's done using it, of course I will clean the bathroom. But everything was put back to where things needed to be.
Right.
Because I remember she always wanted to set an example for us, to make sure that, okay, well, if he's doing this, like, we'll see it and then we'll follow after him and do it. So she'll always tell him, like, make sure you do this so that they can, follow and do the same thing. So I kind of grew up with that like that. So like when I go in the bathroom, I always make sure like it's tidy.
So what about you having a relationship and you have to spend the weekend, or he has to come to your house to spend the weekend, and you just feel like, bro.
I haven't really had anything bad happen because it's 2 bathrooms. So I have like.
So when you have your boyfriend come, he will still go use the other bathroom?
He has his own, and I have mine.
Okay.
So it's like I'll go in the guest bathroom and like use it however I want to do it, and then he has his own side.
So you don't have to clean up after him. He does everything perfectly.
He does everything.
Oh, that's
But
good.
I haven't really had like an experience where like I've lived with a guy and I haven't had that yet. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, I think it's really important that we train up our male child right from, because you see them actually pee and leave the... See, I've had experiences, right? But I grew up in a family where everybody battles with OCD for real, like very bad, like it's bad with my dad, like my dad is bad. So at the initial, when I was still in Nigeria, when I was still younger, I didn't know what OCD was, but I remembered my sister-in-law said my brother has a psychiatric problem. So to me that day I was like, what did you say? He said, no, everybody in your family has psychiatric problem. I said, even that. So I didn't understand. I felt it somehow that day. So I asked my mom, I said, she said this. He said, yes, because she's a nurse. She understands what she's saying. She's not saying you guys are mad. She's just saying that it's a kind of disorder that, everything, my brother is this, is like, it's like, what is this, and everybody is like that. So I grew up in that environment, so it's hard for me to actually live with people. It's hard for me. When you come to my house, please just clean after you.
Mind yourself.
Please. Yeah. I am. So it's bad. It's like bad for me. But I'm trying to control it. Like, when I have people around, like my friend will say, baby, she will follow you to the kitchen. Like, even if you come and I serve you, don't worry, I'll clean up. I'll help you. Because I feel like when you get to the kitchen, you might just do something I would not like. So don't worry. So I'll do it, right? So, I've had to battle with that. With my, it was when a guy gets in the bathroom and he doesn't, clean the bowl, the top of and the pee splashed everywhere. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so you don't need anybody to tell you. This is not even being, having a disorder. It just, and then you like clean it up the first time and the second time, and then one day I had to like, bro.
Like good hygiene, come on.
Like, can you clean after you, like there's tissue? Like I said, I'm like, so you leave this here. I never went to his house till we broke up. Then way back, because I'm like, if you can do this in my house, then I'm not coming to your house. And if I come, I can't use your bathroom. So things just like that. So, I've been lucky to at times. My question now is there treatment for OCD? Like when you feel like you are extreme, or you just want to just take your eyes away sometimes? How do we do that? Like, do you just take your eyes off, like, okay, like what you did with your husband, like, okay, I don't want headache. Let me just clean after him. You understand?
Yeah.
So will you keep up with that? Or there's a time you get to and you be like, what is it? Can you just do things right?
I think that, especially like if you're going into a relationship, like you should probably have a discussion with that person. Like, well, if it happens and you see it the first time, then that's probably the time to bring it up and actually talk about it. Because it's like, if it keeps occurring and you don't like it, that's just going to result to like a bigger
show you
fight.
off and then make you withdraw from him. Not really. Because that feeling like...
Yeah.
So you can talk about it. You think everybody will accept you talking about that with them?
Well... Some people, depending on how they take it, or you go find a partner that's going to deal with your...
But as a person, can we just take our eyes off? Sometimes I feel like maybe I'll just be able to do it, but I'll watch you go. I just want you to go so I can clean.
I can't do it.
You can't, right?
I will talk to you about it and make sure that we're on the same page.
So if it doesn't change, what are you going to do? Break up?
Yeah.
I did
you know what's funny though? You might say, I will talk to this person and let them know like beforehand, like, oh, you have to be a clean B person, do A, B, C, and D. A lot of people don't see that side of their spouse until they're married. because that person wants you to stay. So they're going to do whatever you're saying. But when they're now comfortable with you at home, then they're like, I still have to be cleaning up after myself again. That's why, like, as people, it's good to come from a background where you know it's not just a woman's job to be cleaning or A, B, and D's job to clean. Just even if you're not like spring cleaning, just thoroughly make sure it's neat and leave. You don't have to make sure it's neat like you're now laying flower petals. No, just wipe it, and go. And then if you now have something specific that you like and everything, you can just fix it yourself. Because at the end of the day, this one, people will end up not having relationship.
I'm telling you, right?
Nobody is perfect, okay?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like it's common sense. Because it's like, okay, if you're to go like somewhere now and you see how certain things, you're really trying to impress someone, right? And you're not like that in your own house.
But some people are like that in their own houses. Because I've been to people's houses that leave bowls in the kitchen 3 days, and then you'll be like, did you travel? Said, I've been home like 3 days. Oh, okay. Like, if you give me water, I can't even drink. Like, because I feel like, how do you leave a bowl in your zinc for 3-4 days? Like, used plates.
I have a friend that will go to other people's house and wash their dishes while at home her own dishes are not washed.
What?
People do that. It's people actually
just to make them feel like,
let me wash your dishes after eating in their home, their own dishes. So I feel like what people do outside doesn't necessarily portray what they do in their home. Yeah.
But I still feel like it's common sense. Like if you
say this,
common sense is not
common, right?
I don't know, but that's just what I.
All right, guys, please. If you are dealing with OCD, I need someone to talk to me. How do you just take your eyes off sometimes? How do you overlook things and just let it be? How have you been battling with it? How have you been able to survive in the midst of people that are just regular people that don't feel like, what's the big deal? I can live this here for 10 days. Like, for real. Let's see in the comment section. I'll be right back.
So welcome back. On this segment, we're going to be doing our fun facts. And our fun facts today are about some people in Indonesia, commonly known as the mountain people or the Toraja people. So they have this ritual called the Manene ritual. I am going to butcher some of the pronunciation, please forgive me. But this is a ritual whereby they exhume their dead relatives or dead members of the community every 3 to 5 years and honor them. Basically, they take them out of their internment graves and they clean them up, dust off all the things that have accumulated over the years, put new clothes on them, and if they were like a smoker, they even give them like cigarettes, and they like turn the cigarettes on for them, and they give you whatever you liked when you were alive, just to honor you, And the main reason why they do that is just because some people don't deal well with like grief. Some people it takes them years, and some people it takes them to be able to see that person physically until their hearts are like, okay, I'm fine. So main reason it's for grief purposes and just to like show respect to the people that have passed on. And also just to reunite them with their families, because they believe that like when you reunite with your ancestors, things are gonna go better for you. So normally they do it like towards harvest time, where they need like all that good luck to bring in good crops. So that's when they do that. So those are our fun facts of the day. Let us know in the comments if you know anything about them or if you have any questions.
I'm hearing it for the first time myself because
yeah.
So when the body is already decayed and it's a skeleton, they still clean it up.
Yeah, for years and years. It's not like it's a one-time thing. It's like almost every 3 to 5 years. So whether the person died 20 years ago, if there's still anything intact or tangible, they are going to still take them out and clean them and put some clothes on them and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Africa, they will say that one is stupid.
In Africa, right? I know that. But, oh my God. All right, We'll be right back. ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the show today. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. I'm sure you enjoyed every bit of it. I want to say thank you to all our crew members. Thank you, crew. To all our vendors, we appreciate you. God bless you. I know you miss Sydney today. You miss Sydney? I miss Sydney. I can't wait to have her back. She's going to be back on the next episode, guys. So watch out for our one and only Sydney. Thank you so much for staying tuned, and then we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.